We're starting here with the VR to amidst the gray on hashtag coffee house decks. I do have my coffee here now that I have, like, I don't want to say I have burnout, but I'm experiencing burnout symptoms. I haven't been having as much coffee because I feel like it's not been good for me. Whenever I have coffee or I have 2 coffee in one day, I get, I don't know, my brain doesn't like it. So this is my first coffee of the day and it's 7:12 p.m. So, okay, the first prompt, a deck that is strong, punchy, and gets straight to the point. So I will have to say that I haven't been doing a lot of tarot readings lately because of my state of mind, and I'm very not strict with myself. Hi Donna. But I have been giving myself the leeway sort of to not do tarot readings if I'm in a not so great state of mind. But right now, let me think. I have to go with the Dreaming Way Tarot. Because I always describe my Dreaming Way Tarot as straight to the point. Because it is. My Dreaming Way Tarot, I keep it in a homemade bag like this. We're not going to look at the backs of the deck because they are horrible, but the fronts are stunning. Ooh, my nails match with this card. That's so pretty, actually. Okay, so this is, it looks like super whimsical and almost fairy-like and really cute, but when I do a reading with this, it is straight to the point. This is definitely a deck that if I want a short and sharp reading, then this is what I go for. So like the reading that I created on my website, short and sweet, this is like the short and sharp. If someone wanted a short and sharp reading with me, this is the deck that I would grab because it is strong, it is punchy, and it does get straight to the point. And I have talked about this deck a lot on my channel. This is actually a fun story. The reason that I got this deck is because I was on Lisa Papet's Help Me Say Yes to the Deck, and I had been enjoying her series with the other creators and other people that were on her channel, and then she hosted Wesley from 22 Zines here on YouTube, and he had the Dreaming Way on his list, so he wanted, and he ended up getting that one, spoiler alert, but it's been out for over a year. And that is, first of all, how I found his channel, and I've been really enjoying his content ever since. But I also immediately purchased the Dreaming Way. I got it for like 16 euros. So every time I talk about this deck on my channel, I have to thank like Wesley for even bringing it up to me, because I hadn't heard of this deck before I saw it on Lisa Papet's channel. So that is the Espresso Shots. Those backs, what were they thinking? Exactly. It's horrible. And I don't know what the name is, but there's like a phobia for holes that people have. Like a picture of like different holes or like the structure of the moon, and people can actually have phobias for that. So if you have a phobia for that, then the Dreaming Way Tarot is not the deck for you. I'm a weirdo, but I kind of like the backs. I've been back and forth on this deck. I do really like it though. Yeah, I personally love this deck. Totally. Okay, let me see the next prompt. The drip. Is this like just a filter coffee, drip coffee? Because a lot of these prompts are, I feel like, are very American specific. And I have worked in like, not in necessarily coffee shops, but in places, restaurants, cafes, beach restaurants that serve coffee, many different kinds of coffee. I've been the bartender that made all the different kinds of coffee, but I guess we just have a different name for it. So I think the drip is just like a filter coffee, a deck that's simple, accessible, and gets the job done. Accessible. So if I think accessible, I have to say a mass market deck, because those are actually accessible if it is like a deck that I would recommend for other people as well. So it would have to be simple and accessible. I think that's the Tattoo Tarot, because the images itself is very simple. It's like a pip Marseille style kind of deck. So that is simple, right? Like another contender would have been like my Pulp Girls Tarot, because it's very simple, because it's just a different look of the RWS Tarot. But I think I'm gonna go with the Tattoo Tarot. Simple, accessible, gets the job done. If I need a deck that is just gonna be easy to read with, and also accessible for like my clients and stuff that I do readings for, then this is a lovely deck that I would pull from. Let me see. I feel like, I don't know if the stream is lagging, but it doesn't look right on my part. So let me see for a second if everything is going right. Of course, I'm getting an ad on my own stream. No, it's all right. It's going well. Let me see. Donna, it looks like wallpaper from the 60s or 70s. Yeah. Drip is regular coffee, usually filtered with a paper filter. Yeah. Don't seem lagging to me. Awesome. Thank you so much. So, again, the drip or filter coffee for me is a Tattoo Tarot. This is so simple. Like, it is pip, but it's, I think Lisa Pepes calls it like pips with feelings. And it is. I really like this. This is like the only Marseille deck that I have. I don't even know if this is considered Marseille. The order of the major arcana is where justice comes before the strength card, and I think that that's Marseille. Might also be Thoth. I don't know. I don't read with Thoth. So this is like my Marseille type of deck. I don't even know if I'm gonna want or need another Marseille, but when I think of simple, accessible, gets the job done, I think of image-wise of a Marseille deck, and I think of the Tattoo Tarot. Again, it is a deck that if I do have a lot on my mind, and someone books a reading with me and I have to do a reading for someone, then this is a deck that I will gravitate towards, just because it's so simple to read, and it doesn't take a lot of brain space to work with this deck, if that makes sense. Okay, so the next is the Pour Over. So this is one, the Pour Over as a coffee. I had to Google what that was, because I didn't know, but it's like you have your cup and then you have a thing on top of it where you, like, I don't think you put a filter in that thing, but then you put your coffee grinds and then your water in. I think that's a Pour Over. So it says, a deck you need to take your time with, but totally worth the effort. What is a deck that I need to take my time with? I have a couple in mind. One that I have in mind is, let's see. I'm thinking, I'm looking. Maybe like my Witchling Academy, because it has a story in it that it's not always, no, I think it's this one, sorry. The story, like my brain, you guys, oh my god, my brain. But let me finish my thought. At first I thought the Witchling Academy, because there's a whole story in the guidebook that I've been through, that I've gone through, and that I am quite familiar with. So if I were to pull a card, then and it's not one of the court cards, but like here we have the Death card, and I know what part of the story this talks about. But maybe, yeah, and it's not like the prompt is also, but totally worth the effort, and I don't really feel like this is totally like worth the effort. It's a lovely deck, but not in like where I want to sit with a card and really think about it. But I do have that with my Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. This is a deck that I got as a birthday gift from one of my viewers and also channel members, and it is stunning. I edged it black myself. Let me see. Let me pull up the live chat again. And it's so pretty. I go back and forth on whether I think this is pretty. Sometimes I feel like it's ugly, but in like a very good way. And when I want to do a reading for myself, I don't pull this for other people. When I want to do like a sharp very personal tarot reading, then this is one that I will pull from. And this is not a deck where I pull cards and I instantly get the message. I have to sort of sit with it. This is a deck that I really enjoy journaling with. I don't tarot journal often, but this is one that I usually do journal with. And whenever I struggle with some personal things that I need someone to not be too gentle, but also not too harsh with, this is a great deck for that. So yeah, that is my, what was it? The pour over deck. Yes. In Marseille, the pips would have a certain shape, so I would call this Marseille inspired or Marseille adjacent. Yeah, I think so too, thanks. Thank you. I'm not too familiar with Marseille. I really am an RWS girly. I talk about that on the channel all the time. But yeah, the next prompt is a cafe latte, and I think that's, I think it's a quite funny name in Dutch. We call it a koffieverkeerd, which translated is a coffee wrong, which I think is funny. A deck that's well received and highly palatable. Okay, I know which one this is. Right? This is the Lightyear Tarot. It's well received. It's super popular. It's one that I, for a long time, didn't even want to get because I didn't want to be that girl who also had this tarot deck that everybody loves and I didn't want to love it too. Then I ended up getting it and I love it. It's popular. It's well received for a reason, okay? What else does it say? Highly palatable. Yeah. The last prompt, the pour over, was a deck you need to take your time with, but totally worth the effort. That was the Night Goddess Tarot. And right now we're on Cafe Latte, I don't know. A deck that's well received and highly palatable. So this is well received. This is highly palatable. This is, look, one of my favorite court cards. If I want to show like courts that are well done, where you can see what the court cards actually mean, which I usually find in RWS to be not so clear, which is why I think a lot of people struggle with court cards. But this is really well done. And this is one of the cards or one of the decks that I constantly talk about as a recommendation for beginners. I recently put up a video of where I put this one against the Good Karma Tarot. But if I think of well-received and highly palatable, I do think of the Lightyear Tarot before the Good Karma Tarot, simply because I think the Lightyear Tarot is way more popular. Yeah, a latte, or at least a cafe latte, or the koffieverkeerd, or the coffee wrong, is coffee, like just a cup of coffee and then topped with hot milk. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you're not a coffee drinker? I am usually a huge coffee drinker. I love coffee. But now with dealing with my burnout symptoms, coffee isn't, like, my body isn't really appreciating the coffee for how I used to be able to appreciate it. Latte, thank you. It's so weird sometimes when there are certain ways to pronounce it in Dutch, even though it's not a Dutch word, but in Dutch you pronounce it a certain way, and then I have to say it in English, and I'm like, huh, how is this non-Dutch word pronounced in English? I wish I could lay off coffee, but I don't want to. Oh, I had to for these last couple of weeks. And I'm not laying off of coffee completely, like I'm literally drinking it right now, but this is my only cup of the day, probably only cup of the weekend, just because I have to. Okay, next. The cappuccino. I love cappuccino. What do I drink? Usually when I go out and I have coffee, I will have a flat white, which is not in the prompts. I don't think I have the brain space to make up a prompt, but yeah. Cappuccino, a deck that's a classic, sophisticated, and maybe a bit fussy. A deck that's classic, sophisticated. What even, like, I have an idea with what sophisticated means. Like, classy, sort of, but also a bit fussy. Which would that be? Oh, I think it is my white Numen, I think. Because when I think of classy, I do think of this. I mean, there's boobs in here, so but like boobs are classy, right? Boobs are totally classy. Sophisticated and maybe a bit fussy. Sometimes for me, this deck is a bit fussy. I have times where I pull from this deck and I immediately love it and it's a great deck. Yeah, I do feel like cappuccino energy with this deck. That sounds super weird, but it makes sense in my brain right now. But it is fussy, as in sometimes I read with it really well, and sometimes I pull cards and I'm like, I have no idea what you're trying to tell me. So in that way, look, there's boobs, but it's like classy boobs. Actually, I love this card. So yeah, this is definitely like a cappuccino deck. I think it's stunning. And I also think that cappuccinos are not for everybody, like with any type of coffee, really. And I also know that that this deck is not for everybody as well. First of all, because there is some nudity in here, there are some boobs. But also because the people here are quite young, it's quite modern. I personally really like that. I don't mind. Maybe that's because I myself am quite young. Well, quite young. I'm quite young. I turned 30 this year in August. I'm a Leo, in case you didn't know or couldn't tell. So yeah, having trouble putting this back in. Let's see. Oh, your Dutch husband doesn't like anything in his coffee unless it's cappuccino, and he said it should be against the law to call that. Yeah, I get that. My boyfriend is the same. He drinks his coffee black as well, so with no sugar, no cream or anything. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, next prompt. We have the mocha. I think the mocha is chocolate milk and coffee. I think I've never had a mocha, but that's because if I want to get a mocha, I can't get it vegan because usually they won't carry like vegan chocolate milk. So I could make this myself. That's actually the idea that I had for this tag initially. I thought, you know what, I am just gonna film this over multiple days where I'm gonna go to local coffee shops and everything to order the drink of the prompt and then talk about the deck that I related to the prompt, and I had this whole idea where I could go and get these drinks, but then I got to burnout and I just felt like it was too much of a job, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do this the extreme lazy style and do this in a live stream, which is the easiest way for me and the most fun way for me to do this. So yeah. Anyway, it's a deck that's rich, indulgent, and a bit extra. It definitely has to be an indie deck. You're a Leo too. Think not a typical Leo because all of the Cancer influences in my birth are interesting. I also have a lot of Cancer influences. I have a Cancer Mercury and I have a Cancer Venus. Let's see. It has to be an indie deck. What was the prompt again? Rich, indulgent, and a bit extra. What is extra? I mean, I think a deck full of trees, so the tarot of trees, that's a bit extra, I think. No. Nope. It's my Seer Amido because it has golden edges, and I think that's quite extra. Rich, indulgent, and this is a deck that I didn't need in my collection, but I have it and I am absolutely in love with it. This definitely does feel like a rich indulgent. Also because if I think of chocolate milk with coffee, then I think of very comforting, and this is definitely a comforting deck. I mean, it's not like, it doesn't shy away from harsh messages, but it's like in a good way. I've pulled from this deck for my last couple of client readings. So yeah, this is extra. Like, look at the golden edges. I think that's extra. I think it's rich and indulgent because it's an indie deck and it's not super inexpensive. It's I got it from indietarot.co. I think it's a Dutch It's a Dutch store that sells tarot deck by LGBT and people that POC creators. Yeah, had to say that correctly. And I have fallen in love with this deck, really. I've been doing some personal readings with it, but mostly readings for other people as well. I think this Page of Cups is so cute. I love this. So yeah, this is definitely my Mocha deck. Absolutely. Love this. So, hi. Happy to have you here. I don't know what exactly you're asking, but we're not doing tarot readings right now. So, I also think you're being disrespectful, so I'm just gonna delete you. And I'm gonna give you a timeout, because I can. Okay. So, next is the Cortado. Oh, I know what a Cortado is. I think it's an espresso with a bit of milk foam. It's also, or I know it as an espresso macchiato, which there was only one person at this restaurant where I worked at who always would order an espresso macchiato. And because of her, I learned what an espresso macchiato is and how to make it. And then I started working at another restaurant and someone ordered an espresso macchiato, and none of my coworkers knew what it was, and I was like, new, and I was like, yeah, I know what it is. So I made it and I brought it to the customer, and it was the same woman who I knew from the previous place that I worked at that ordered the espresso macchiato. A deck that's balanced and objective. A deck that's balanced and objective. I mean, what is balanced and objective? Honestly, I know it's really basic, but I feel like it's just my regular RWS. Balanced and objective. Yeah, it was kind of polite for a troll, yeah. So, let me open this up. I think that... And also, when it comes to live streams, I used to stream simultaneously on YouTube and Twitch back when I did my political tarot readings, which I might bring back in some type of way. I don't know yet. But I had a lot of trolls on Twitch, and I've just learned to not tolerate them at all. Because I want this to be a safe space for a particular type of person. And if someone who is not that type of person is being like trolly in my chat, I don't need them there, because they're bringing down the mood. Anyway, balance and objective. That is my RWS. I have the Centennial edition, which is my preferred edition. I don't mind the borders. I actually don't really love the look of the borderless edition. And this is balanced because I just feel like this is neutral, this is objective, this is a deck that I can pull from anytime. For a long time, I wasn't attracted to the RWS at all. But then I got the original RWS, and one of my best friends, who was also into tarot, she fell in love with that deck and she purchased it for herself. And then I didn't really love the coloring of it, so I purchased this one instead. And that is when I fell in love with the RWS. And I'm still sort of on again, off again with it. There are times, especially for my political tarot readings, is when I love this. So when I think of balanced and objective, that is the exact energy that I wanted for my political tarot readings. And that is where I use my RWS for. This is like a super cute bag that I made with eucalyptus, and I also have the green lining in the inside. So okay, I have to finish my coffee before it gets cold. I also have a cup of tea here that I don't want to get cold. Well, I don't know what this is. The CON PANNA, a deck that puts you in your place but with a hint of sweetness. So what is a CON PANNA? It's an espresso with cream. Oh, so it's like an espresso, but with I would serve it with whipped cream. Usually the person that ordered it would order it on the side. So that's an espresso con panna. So a deck that puts you in your place, but with a hint of sweetness. So it's like the sharpness of an espresso, but it's also sort of cheeky. I like that. What does that for me? Maybe I don't know. I was thinking Everyday Witch, but it doesn't really put me in my place. It isn't really super sharp or anything. What? Oh, yes. My Wake Me Up Tarot. Because this is, to me, so relatable that it hurts sometimes. But there isn't like super like sweetness. It's more like cheekiness. Let me take a sip of my tea. Delicious. Okay. So the Wake Me Up Tarot definitely puts me in my place, but with a bit of cheekiness because it's so relatable. I recently did an entire review on this deck. I do also have an entire walkthrough where I go card by card with this deck that you can find on my channel. I absolutely love it. This is so good. This is so good. I love it so much. So yeah, this is definitely my con panna or my espresso con panna. It puts me in my place. It's super harsh. It's super, for me, it's super relatable, which is why it hurts so much sometimes. But yeah, this is like what I wanted the This Might Hurt Tarot to be for me. So like for a lot of people, the This Might Hurt Tarot is like their favorite modern deck where they feel like that is their world. I don't really feel that with the This Might Hurt Tarot, but I feel that with the Wake Me Up Tarot. Let me see. I really want this deck, but I believe it might have just gone out of print. I don't think it's out of print. I think she is sold out right now, and you can get it both at Tavada, but I got it from the creator on Instagram, which, where's my phone? Here. If you want to have this deck, I recommend you follow the creator. I'm gonna pull up the Instagram. What is it called? Her Instagram is wakemeup.tarot on Instagram. So follow the creator because the creator put out when it was out of stock. But her post on February 19th said, "Hello everyone, our Wake Me Up Tarot is now sold out." Oh, it does say we don't have plans to restock them soon, but that doesn't mean that they are not gonna restock them at all, especially because Lisa Passage did an entire video on it. So I definitely it would be interesting to me if they didn't restock it. Okay, next prompt. I have never had a chai latte, but the chai latte is the next prompt. I've never even had chai tea, but one of my friends recently that I hung out with had a chai latte, but she had it with regular milk, I think. I don't remember. But a deck that's warm, cozy, and nurturing. Okay. Do you guys know what is coming? My like warm, nurturing, gentle deck. Does anyone who is watching know what is coming? I'm gonna wait till I pull it out. I talk about this deck all the time, by the way. And if you're watching this on a replay, write a comment to see if you were right. I'm slowly gonna pull it out. Sounds weirdly sexual. I didn't mean it that way. It's my Good Karma Tarot. I talk about this deck all the time. This is the yellow backs give me life. It even makes my auto thing go all weird, my auto white balance. But this is my deck that is gentle. This is, I get all the warm and fuzzy feelings when I pull this deck, when I hold this deck, when I look at it. If someone books a reading with me and I can sort of tell that they're new to tarot, or they tell me that they're new to tarot, I will do a reading with this deck. I think I get good karma and wake me up mix for some reason. So yeah, this is also one of my favorite court cards. I love this deck so much. What was the prompt again? Warm, cozy, nurturing. That is this. This is cozy. This is warm. I mean, the backs are yellow, so of course it's warm. It's nurturing. It's sweet. I love it. I love that it's that it has people of color in here. What's actually super fun is when I picked up this deck when I first got it, like, was that 2 years ago? Almost 2 years ago, I think. I was on my way to a friend of mine, and I picked this deck up. Then I went on the bus to go to her, and it was like, this was one of the first deck that I got with like people of color representation. So I was really happy that I had this deck with me so I could do a reading for her, because she herself is of color. So I didn't feel comfortable pulling a cards from a deck for her that she wasn't represented in. So that is actually that's pretty much the first reading that I ever did with the Good Karma Tarot, was for that friend of mine. And I also keep a little stone of Golden Healer in here as well, in the bag. So I also have never had a matcha latte, which is the next prompt. An acquired taste or a bit unconventional. An acquired taste. What is a deck that is an acquired taste? I mean, I got some decks that are an acquired taste. Or a bit unconventional. I mean, I have a deck about a little rat that's quite an acquired taste, quite unconventional, but I think I'm gonna go for my Tarot of Trees, just because I feel like I haven't talked about this in a while. An acquired taste, it's all trees. You either love it or you hate it. And I think the artwork is also very different. It's a small little pocket deck. It is unconventional. It's trees. So this is definitely like a matcha latte. And matcha is green, so I think trees is like perfect. I don't pull this deck too often anymore. I haven't pulled this deck in a while. I thought for a bit there that when I did my political tarot readings and I would do like readings on the environment, I think I've pulled from this deck once for an environment. Oh, we have a very dramatic Ten of Swords, which actually I think is quite funny and talks more about the dramatics of a Ten of Swords moment, how we're sort of making it be very dramatic and very big when really a tree can't bleed. So that's sort of fictional and sort of made up, imagined almost. I miss doing my political tarot readings, but right now I don't know if I can, if I have the brain space to actually do them. But yeah, the Tarot of Trees, it's super unconventional. It's a deck of trees. So yeah. Oh, that's funny that we had the same thought pattern, the same idea. Okay. So that was the matcha latte. Yeah, I love doing the political tarot readings. I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing them on this channel or if I should make a different channel for political tarot readings. I'm not sure yet. I have to think about that. Right now, I'm just glad that if I can get 2 videos a week out on this channel, that's not even gonna happen this week. But that's why I'm doing a live stream instead. so I can live stream tonight and then I don't have a video up tomorrow. So this is like tomorrow's video, basically. Okay. Ooh, the hot chocolate. A deck that speaks to a younger version of yourself. I mean, that's Harry Potter, the Little Wizard's Tarot. And I grew up watching the films. I think I saw the second film in the movie theater. I think so. It was super scary. I remember with the toilet and that being the Chamber of Secrets. Spoiler alert, but it's been out for like, I don't know, 20 years or something. I don't think, is that one out for 20 years? Maybe. Anyway, this is the Little Wizard's Tarot. It's a Harry Potter deck, and Harry Potter feels like my childhood. I personally am very disappointed and upset by the words of the creator of Harry Potter, which has made it a bit why blocked? Well, okay, bye. Which has made it so that I don't want to purchase any licensed Harry Potter things anymore, because I don't want any money going into her pockets, you know? But this one is not licensed. This one is created by Push Kitty. It has like the rose petal matte finish, which I dislike so much. It's very hard to sort of pull the cards as well like that. So, but this is my childhood. This is hot chocolate. What was the prompt? That speaks to a younger version of yourself. Not only are the images super cute and the people in here, at least the kids, are super cute. Like, why are we not seeing like the fronts of people? Come on, where are like the children? Like, look at that. That's so cute. It's so cute. And then it's also Harry Potter. So yeah, this definitely speaks to a younger version of myself. I rarely pull from this deck. I rarely do readings with this deck. But it's never going anywhere just because of my love for Harry Potter. And back before my boyfriend created his gaming PC here, I had a bookshelf here, or we had a bookshelf. We lived together, so it's both of ours. And I had like a Harry Potter shrine on that shelf. I still have it. The bookshelf is now in the other room. And I do have like my big Fantastic Beasts book. I have another big book, like the sort of like a history of magic, I think, illustrated. I also really want to get the illustrated storybooks, but again, that is licensed Harry Potter, so that would be putting money into J.K. Rowling's bank account, and I'm fine not doing that. So yeah, if I could get it like secondhand or something, I would probably do something like that. But I personally do not feel comfortable putting money into J.K. Rowling's pockets because she's been so transphobic. Yeah, okay, next. I had no idea what this is. The Italian soda. So why is this coffee? How is this coffee? It says here, an Italian soda is a soft drink made from carbonated water and flavored syrup. Fun fact, I cannot do carbonated drinks because it makes me burp a lot. I don't drink carbonated drinks. I don't think anything like fuzzy because I burp a lot and it's not fun. Okay, so the the prompt here is a deck that's fun, low-key, and not overly serious. I think there are a couple. I think the first thing that came to mind was my Everyday Witch tarot, which definitely is fun, low-key, not overly serious, because it doesn't take itself very seriously, but I think I gotta go with my Tourette. Fun, not overly serious. Oh my god, I have shown this deck on camera a couple of times, and I still haven't gotten any further with edging it. But yeah, this is like so adorable. This is from the gamecrafter.com, the website. And it's a tarot. It's a red tarot by Nakisha. And it's so adorable. I love this. I don't pull from this very often either. I have done earlier this, no, not this year. I think at the end of last year, I've pulled some cards from this, and it was really fun, really good reading. And I definitely, oh my god, look at the face. Look at the face. You can barely see it, but yeah. I love it so much. And even though I don't really pull from this that often, I still want to keep it in case I ever get the honors to do a tarot reading for a child. Then this is so the deck that I would pull from. It's adorable. It's too bad so many favorites have been spoiled by bad behavior. Also, Buffy has been a bit spoiled by finding out what Joss Whedon is. Joss Whedon like the creator of Buffy? I know nothing about Buffy, I'm sorry. I think Buffy may have been like a little bit before my time, I think. I'm not exactly sure. No, maybe not, because the actress from Buffy also played in How I Met Your Mother, right? When Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Let's see. Oh, it was a television series created by writer and director Joss Whedon, yes. Oh, so he was the creator of that. It's based on the 1992 film of the same name. And yeah, we have Alison Hannigan in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And she is also in, what's it called? How I Met Your Mother. We've been, my boyfriend and I have been watching that. Yeah, so when was this? Oh, this was from 1997. So 1997, I was 4. So yeah, it's a bit before my time. Yeah. But yeah, it really sucks when and I feel like, I don't know what I feel like. I'd have to sort of collect my thoughts on that. The actress who played Willow was in How I Met Your Mother. Yeah, she plays Lily. Yeah. It just sucks that we want to enjoy these things, but then we hear about horrible creators. And if you support, especially with J.K. Rowling, I'm pretty sure she still profits off of anything licensed Harry Potter. So the new game, Hogwarts Legacy, I really, really want to play that. But I don't want to put money in J.K. Rowling's pocket. So I'm going to try and see if I can get it secondhand somewhere, maybe. But yeah, ultimately, the worst damage is what J.K. Rowling's words do to the trans community. Those are ultimately the actual victims here, and not me not being able to play a $60 game. But still, it sucks. Okay, the next prompt we have the herbal tea. I just had herbal tea. Oh, I still have a bit left. A deck that takes things down a notch or helps you unwind. What deck helps me unwind? I don't really use tarot to unwind. Oh, but I think it might be this one. My Magical Dogs Tarot. Because this is like a calmish deck, I think. I think if I think of green tea, then dog energy is definitely... Oh, look at the dogs. Yeah, this is definitely it. And I talked about my dog in the beginning of the stream. I think he's over there. He has a pillow, which is an old head pillow from our bed that we gave to him. And he is sleeping on that next to the radiator. So it's like super warm and cozy. And I also pulled from this deck recently when I did a tarot reading for my dog. If you haven't watched that, totally go ahead and watch it. one of the things that I saw in the reading for my dog's name is Bear. And one of the things that I saw in the reading for Bear was that he really wants like a bigger family. So he really wants like a brother or sister dog. And today, my boyfriend and I have been talking about potentially getting a second dog. And we want a dog that is small enough to be able to play with Bear, because Bear is tiny. Like, he is really tiny. He's a Chihuahua, and even for Chihuahua, he's really small. So we definitely want to either get another Chihuahua or a smaller dog. So we've been thinking of like a Teckle or a Dachshund, I think it's called. Dachshund, I think, maybe something like that. But maybe like a miniature one who can actually play with Bear. We also thought about like a miniature pinscher, because regular pinschers can get quite big for compared to Bear, and we wanted him to be able to play with Bear. And Donna, thank you. It's good to hear that you enjoyed that. The next prompt is the Dark Roast, a deck that takes you deep and dark but helps you kick you in gear for what's to come. I think this is a prompt that was added later by someone, but I'm not sure by who. Who? But I wanted to add this just because I have the perfect deck for this that takes me deep and dark but kicks me into gear for what's to come. That's my Wild Unknown, and I only have the pocket edition, which was a gift from a viewer, from someone who I did a tarot reading for, actually. And I'm pretty sure she's also in my Discord community. So again, another plug for the Discord community. If you haven't joined it yet, it's like Facebook, better. Because it's more of like a chat room. It invites more to chat with each other than I think Facebook sort of just invites you to comment on each other, but Discord really is for chatting. Link is always in the description box below. So, you have a Shih Tzu. They're very sweet. The fourth one, the other three were older and passed years ago. That is my worst nightmare. I always say Bear is gonna live forever because he has to. Otherwise, I don't know how to deal with the heartbreak of losing a pet. I have no idea. My mom has a mini long-haired dachshund. He's a cutie pie. Oh, so cute. So cute. Oh, that is exactly what we want too, a mini long-haired dachshund. That is exactly what we're looking for. But yeah, anyway, the prompt was the Dark Roast, a deck that takes you deep and dark. That is what this does. When I was feeling so shitty with my burnout symptoms, and I needed to know what to do with my career, and how to go with my job, with my work, what to do next. I think this is actually one of the cards that I pulled. Pretty sure. So it was hopeful. That was hopeful. Like having all this darkness and this tangleness and this shittiness, but being able to rise above it eventually. I am in the darkness right now. I am in here right now, and knowing that I will be able to rise above it, and I know I will. I'm not in a place where I feel like this is going to be forever, but I am in a kind of a tough place right now. And yeah, this deck, even though it's always harsh, it tells me what I need to hear, in a harsh way, in a confronting way, which is why I don't often pull from this deck. But yeah, this is definitely a Dark Roast. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't use this too often, but when I do, it's always super punchy. It's actually the one that I have on my desk right now. But because I haven't been doing too many tarot readings, I haven't pulled from it a lot. So yes, that is, yeah, it is a great card. But those were the prompts for the Coffee House Decks VR to Amidst the Gray.